Hey everybody, it's Linda Faulkner with www.crafterinspired.com. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I want to show you how to make your own designer series paper with the Bloom by Bloom stamp set. This is one of my favorites from the Occasions catalog, and it's retiring. So I have to show you quickly because it's not going to last long. Stay tuned. Let me turn the camera around and we'll get started. I'm using the Bloom by Bloom stamp set. This is photopolymer. That means you can see through the actual stamps. Now, when you use a bright color with it, it's going to stain a little bit. So I've been using red, so I get this gorgeous hot pink stain on it. The other stamp set I'm using is stitched all around, and I'm going to be using the thank you sentiment from that stamp set. And that is cut out with the coordinating framelit dies. And so this is the set of dies, and here's the one that I actually used with that particular card. This is such a neat set of framelits because it has some labels that are just perfect for so many different cards. And they're special, they're fancy. So I think it's one that I've used and pull a lot. Now, along with the same suite, the suite is called Happiness Blooms, but it has the prettiest papers. But I kept seeing demonstrators make their own paper using some of the images in the Bloom by Bloom stamp set. So I wanted to try that. This one is a shout out to Leanne Graff, and I think Kylie Bertucci both had similar processes that I tried. So I wanted to share what I came up with for my particular card. This is the Happiness Blooms, I believe, might be called Bloom by Bloom. I'll have to look. This is the paper that's already created, designer series paper that goes with the set. So look at those colors. Aren't those fun? They're so kind of 60s modern maybe. Beautiful colors. There also is a Memories and More card kit that goes with it. Now, card kit, I mean, it has cards with stamped images already on them that you can use for scrapbooking, or you can make cards out of them. I started with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. It measures 4 by 5 1/4. That means I took 1/4 of an inch off of each end, so that it will leave a border, about 1/8 of an inch border all around the card. Now, to start, I'm going to use some of the brightest colors. Granny Apple Green. Most of these are new in colors for last year, not the new coming catalog. Lovely Lipstick, Pineapple Punch, and Blueberry Bushel. So I'm going to start with the largest flower, and that's going to be in Lovely Lipstick, and it's this flower that one right there. So I'm going to open my stamp set. New stamp sets, remember, you just pull it open, pop it open, and then mine are still pretty new, so you slide it there. You can push it down on the table if you need help sliding it. So I am going to simply stamp, and before I do that, let me show you a little trick. This is my foam mat, which works great, especially for photopolymer stamps. And then these are the grid papers that go with the new Stamparatus. So I'm going to put one of those underneath it so that I don't mess my mat up too badly. As you can see, it's already had a little stamping on it, but that just makes it a little easier. So if I stamp off on that, it's going to go straight onto this grid paper to grab it. So I'm going to start by inking up my Lovely Lipstick on the big flower. Just take a look, make sure it's fully covered. And then I'm going to start stamping. I want some of them to be stamped off completely. You have to ink it up real good because this is a pretty large stamp. So let's grab one in the corner maybe. And maybe one right here. I want to leave plenty of space to put some other I want to leave plenty of space to put some other flowers. Now that one I messed it up. I think I'll just go right back over it. Darkens it a little bit. And I always have extra paper for this project because with the large stamps, there's a good chance something's going to go awry. Okay, I think I'm good there. All right, next I'm going to go for the blue, which is this one right there. And there's two different stamps in the set that are about the same size. This one's a pretty choice also. So I'm opening my blue. And this is a little stiff. This is blueberry. It's a gorgeous blue. Not navy, not royal blue, somewhere in the middle. And I have that particular stamp. Now, I recommend that you use a stamp block that's similar to the size of your stamp, but mine are all being used on another project right now, so we're just going to be careful. The reason is because that can easily happen, so you want to make sure you wipe that off before you try to stamp, or you're going to have a mess. And notice I have quite a bit of ink. This is a very juicy ink pad. I've got quite a bit of ink around the edge, so I'm going to be very careful to go straight down and then back up. So I'm going to start with the smaller areas. There you go. One maybe here. And how about right there? And now let's start some that are going to go off the edge. Makes it look like designer series paper. Maybe a corner. And here. And maybe one up here. All right, we got that one done. The next step I'm going to go to is that leaf. You might want to do your leaf first before the second, the blue starburst. All right, opening and sliding. And I recommend you close your inks so you don't have an accidental disaster before you start on the next one. Here I'm looking for a place I can see through it so I can see where it's going to go. I want to make it attached to a flower and find some kind of blank space to do that. And again, these can be stamped off the edge of the paper also. I've also tried some with a Call Me Clover green, and those were really cute. Also, just a little different look. Let me show you one of those. Kind of just depends on your preference. There's one of those. Pretty? All right. I'm going to give every flower a leaf. And I am not happy with that extra. I will probably, where I had to go back and finish it off, it didn't stamp completely. You could also do this with the Stamparatus, but it makes for a lot of prep. So to me, the stamps are easier for this particular project. Okay, I think that's got enough green on it. What I can do for this little boo-boo is make sure that my sentiment goes over that particular flowers, and that will cover it up. All right, now let's do some centers on these big red flowers, and we're almost done. So here's a little tiny yellow, and I'm going to use this particular stamp for the center. And I have a large block here, and I put 3 different stamps on it so that I can use it for 3 different things. I just have to be careful to clean it off each time so that I don't get the other ink color. One of those, pop one of those in each flower, even the one that hangs off the edge. Easy. All right, needs a little bit more. So let's add some dots and maybe some little blue flowers. So let's do the dots since I'm here with my yellow. And I'm going to kind of put those close to something else, kind of as a fill-in, and leave a little space for, I want some space for one more little flower. Give it just a little more blue. So these are going like in between narrow spaces. And there's several other options. You want some of the dots to go off the edge, of course, make it look realistic. Maybe just a smidge right there, just a touch. All right, and then I've got one more flower. Okay, look, let's see what I did, and we'll just cover it. That's going to cover this other mistake also. But see, since I had two of them on there, I thought I'd be okay using just one end, but I accidentally got a little shadow of that other flower on it. So the last one I want to do is this flower, and I don't have anything else on that side, so I should be safe. And I'm going to do that back in the blueberry bushel. So grab that, and that just kind of adds the last little touch. You could add rhinestones or enamel dots. There's lots of different possibilities with this, but I think to me, this is kind of all it needs. Several going to stamp off on that one. See, I might try to cover that yellow one with the blue one. That kind of worked. See any place else that needs it? How about right there? Okay, I think I'm happy. All right, that's all there is to it. I've done this with other colors. I used a smoky slate and grapefruit for a really soft, pretty color palette. So let me show you. These are all a little different. All I did was add a strip of paper and a circle with the sentiment on top. Now, some of them I fancied them up. Notice some have blueberry bushel and some I used Night of Navy on. And I just added a little piece of ribbon, and that's it. Let me see if there's any other color combinations. This is just moved to a different place. It's easy. There's a yellow background and some green, granny apple green ribbon. And then these are the envelopes that come with the Memories and More pack. Aren't those cute? So that's going to make the envelope already special without me having to do anything. You could also do a little stamping on your envelope if you wanted. There's another blueberry, and then here's a white background. And that's using the Call Me Clover green instead of Granny Apple. And here's the Call Me Clover background, the cardstock. I hope you had fun with that. Enjoy the last few weeks of retirement. We have a new catalog coming out in June that if you want one, you need to be sure and email me. I will have a link at the bottom to my blog post that will have some measurements and a little bit more detail if you need any more information on these cards. Hope you had fun. Thanks for coming by.